Hey guys, I'm Chef Atulya. Today I'm going to show you how to make healthy vegan chickpea noodle soup, so let's get started. First, you got to cook your beans. When it comes to any recipes, just find out what's going to take the longest and you got to start with that step first. Obviously, if you're cooking your own chickpeas like I do, then you're going to have to cook your chickpeas. If you want to learn how to cook your own beans and chickpeas from scratch, go ahead and check out my video on how to cook beans and chickpeas. I'll link that in the description box and I'll also link it at the end of this video. If you feel like it's a little bit too much trouble cooking your own beans, go ahead and just use a can of beans. I'll put a link to this recipe in the description box below. Here we're gonna chop up our vegetable base for our soup, also called the mirepoix. I'm gonna chop up some carrots into bite-sized pieces and some celery as well. The general rule of thumb when it comes to chopping vegetables for your soups is to cut them small enough so that they fit onto a spoonful. So you might be asking, Chef Atulya, where are your onions and garlic in your mirepoix? You know what? I just discovered that you don't need onions and garlic for flavor. I don't use them because of my meditation practice, and I've learned how to cook without them. And all of my recipes, I promise you, are super flavorful without onions and garlic, if not more flavorful and delicious. Next, I'm gonna destem and chop up some kale. Go ahead and roll up your kale leaves tightly and slice into 1/4 to 1/2 inch slices. Slice in the opposite direction one more time, and you can also substitute this with chopped spinach. I like to chop up the stems into small pieces and add them to my base vegetables for the soup. Then let's prepare some fresh herbs. Here I have some parsley leaves that I've destemmed, and I'm going to roughly mince them. I'm also going to mince up some thyme leaves that I've destemmed. Our veg prep is done and now we're ready to get to cooking. I've heated up some oil in a large pot and I'm sauteing up some carrots and celery and whatever mirepoix vegetables that you've got. I've got this on high heat so I can get some color action going through my vegetables because brown food equals flavor. And once you got some coloring action going on your vegetables, then add your chickpea flour and you're gonna saute this until it gets nice and toasty and golden. I love using chickpea flour as a thickening agent for soups and gravies. It not only thickens them really nicely, it also gives them this really yummy, savory, umami-like depth of flavor that you cannot get with anything else. Then add salt, black pepper, ground cumin, ground turmeric, a few bay leaves, thyme, and nutritional yeast. You might need to turn down the heat just a little bit so that you don't burn any of the spices. You want the spices to be fragrant and aromatic and toasty to develop their flavors. Then add some tamari or any kind of soy sauce that you like. And you want to cook this off for another 30 seconds or so. And all this browning action that's happening in the pan is what's creating depth of flavor. Then add your chickpeas, 8 cups of liquid. This can be chickpea cooking liquid, chickpea liquid from the can, water, vegetable broth, or a mixture of any of these. Add 1/2 of the chopped parsley and stir this well, making sure to scrape the bottom of the pan where all the fond, the flavor is. It's the brown bits that are stuck on the bottom. Bring your soup up to a boil and skim off any excess foam that rises to the top. Reduce your heat to a gentle simmer and pop a lid on and cook this for 30 to 45 minutes until all the flavors have married each other. While our soup's cooking up, let's cook the pasta. Bring a salted pot of water to boil. Since this is a healthy recipe, I thought I would keep it gluten-free. So today I'm using brown rice fusilli pasta from Trader Joe's. It's $1.99. It's fantastic. If you don't have gluten-free pasta, you can really use any kind of pasta that you have. Short pasta is good, but if you have some long pasta that you want to use up in your pantry, then you can just break it into smaller pieces and use that for this recipe. Add your pasta into the boiling water. Give it a stir so that they don't stick to each other. The reason why we're cooking the pasta separately is because we don't want the starch from the pasta to make our soup too murky and starchy. And we also don't want to overcook the pasta, which can happen as the pasta sits with the soup. So cooking them separately is best. You want to cook the pasta about 2 minutes under the package instructions. It's okay if they're slightly undercooked because they'll cook some more once added with the soup. Rinse with cold water to stop the cooking process, as well as to rinse off all the starch so that they don't stick to each other. It's been about 40 minutes. Our soup is just about done. You can turn off the heat, remove all the bay leaves, add your remaining half of the chopped parsley and your chopped kale or chopped spinach or a combination of both. I like adding all the greens at the very end with the heat off so that they can maintain their beautiful green color. Lastly, add some fresh lemon juice to add a little brightness to our soup. To plate this up, get your pasta into a bowl, then ladle your hot soup over the pasta. If you have any leftovers, be sure to save the pasta separate from the soup. This way they don't turn into a complete mush. Here's our healthy chickpea noodle soup, packed with more flavor and nutrients than any chicken noodle soup out there. Okay, now time for the taste test. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. The color of this broth looks so rich. Like if you didn't tell anyone that this was vegan, the broth looks like it's like bone broth or something. Just the depth of its richness and color. Oh my gosh, so good. I've gone and done it again. We didn't add any veggie broth. We didn't add any onions and garlic. We didn't add any kind of vegetable bouillon cubes or mushroom powder, anything. But this broth tastes like chicken broth. Holy, so good. If you like this recipe, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I have new vegan recipes coming out for you every Friday. And for the next few weeks, I'll be doing a series on healthy, clean vegan recipes such as this chickpea noodle soup. So stay tuned for that and hit that notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Annyeong!